Recording. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Buff Gandhi. This is the Shuckster, the Kentucky Colonel, and tomorrow is his birthday.
Yep, last year as a 20-year-old.
Oh, he's 29. Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Trying to get on that 30 under 30 list before I turn 30.
Happy birthday.
You're there for a birthday, aren't you? Where are you at? Man?
I
Tell the people where you're at.
I am in Seattle, Washington. So this is not Aspire Fitness. This is not my office. This is a hotel room here next to the Seattle airport. So I am here to visit some children and some people. So I'm here for Isaac's 14th birthday. So you are 29, so this is your last year of your 20s. I am 39, so I've got like 6 months left of my 30s. So woo!
You're like my 10 years wiser older cousin with wisdoms that you passed down to me.
You talk about wisdoms. This is what I did on my 5.5 hour plane ride. I listen to podcasts and I make notes. Now you can't read the notes because my handwriting is illegible or unlegible. You know,
right.
That's exactly
you know what I mean?
that's exactly what happens. But
it's funny.
So tell the people what you're going to do for your birthday.
So I am in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm actually going to a new brewery that is opening over in New Albany, Indiana, today, and it's their grand opening, and I'm getting lucky enough to get a table over there for that because it's supposed to be like pretty big deal because it looks like it. I don't know how the beer is, but it looks like one of the cooler breweries I've ever seen. So I'm really excited to get to see that. It's on the waterfront of Indiana, and it just looks like a very beautiful and well done building. So pretty
Nice.
cool. Excited to do that, and then tomorrow going and hanging out with some friends in it's called Nulu in Louisville. It's just like where all the like cool hip restaurants are and the cool bars and stuff.
The Ville.
The Ville.
The Ville. Anyways, I've got several stories about the Ville. All right, so are you going to be drinking alcohol for your birthday?
I will be. So always around my birthday is a time that very much so encourages alcoholism or drinking alcohol in Kentucky.
It doesn't encourage. It doesn't encourage alcoholism. It just encourages drinking alcohol. Let's be clear. He's not an alcoholic.
Yes. So what I mean is, I don't know. Maybe in the month of April. So listen. All right. So in college, my 21st birthday. So it was Kentucky, like if I'm not mistaken, Kentucky like won the national championship, then Keeneland, and I turned 21 the first weekend of Keeneland.
Wow.
And Kentucky won the national championship like the week before that, and then the Derby is like essentially the weekend after that. And I'm like, it's a good time to be from Kentucky.
You had quite a trio. Kentucky wins the national title, first national title in a long time, and then you turn.
We've almost matched that amount of time since then, though.
Come on, Cal, get your act together, Cal. We can't be having 9 and 16 seasons. Sorry, okay. If you need me to step in and play, I will. All right, so
I have eligibility.
I got 4 years of eligibility left. So if you need a 40-year-old point guard, I am here.
I bet I can maybe run longer distances than your players, but definitely not out jump them. Or actually, I bet I can't even do that. That's stupid for me to say. That's such a stupid thing to say. If they were really like, I'm going to go run a half marathon or a marathon, they could probably easily do it.
But what you could say is you've lost an entire person. So
that's true.
You know,
and I definitely can't dunk on them though. I wish I could.
I wish I could too. But you know, we have a good buddy that can. Mike Gardner.
My friend John one day told Mike that Mike couldn't dunk on him. And I was just like, "You're so silly."
That's dumb.
Not
only will Mike dunk on you, but he will come back down and smack you on the rear end as he's coming back down. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we wanted to talk about alcohol today
Yeah.
because you're going to be drinking for your birthday. Now,
Yes.
I
And
don't
eating good food.
I don't drink, and it's not because I've had issues with alcohol or anything, but I don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel like utter bleh. Okay. So, and I'm a little vain about my body fat percentage. So,
Yes.
alcohol can contribute to that. Now, if you do it in, strategic way, it won't, but I just don't want to. So,
Mhm.
but this brings a great topic of conversation because I was actually having a conversation with a client about alcohol, and I'm like, "Hey dude, like you have to like account for what you're drinking as well."
Those calories are drinking.
Right. So he's like, "Well, hard alcohol is better for you than beer." And I'm like, "Well, okay, you have to drink more beer to get more of the buzz, so you have to drink more calories." I understand what you're saying. If you drink the hard alcohol, it hits you harder and you get the effect that you're looking for. But here's the thing that people miss. So, carbohydrates and protein are 4 calories per gram. Okay, so for every gram of carbs and protein is going to be 4 calories. So if you've got 10 grams of protein, it's 40 calories. Fat is 9. Okay, so that's the whole thing is like, well, fat is bad because it gives you more calories. Well, that's not the reason because fat isn't bad. Just there are fats like McDonald's fat, hydrogenated oils, those are bad for you. Side topic. But alcohol is 7 calories per gram. So for every gram of alcohol that you're drinking, you're actually getting 7 calories. Now, here's also the caveat to this.
Excuse me.
When you drink, your liver says, okay, because it has to be processed through the liver. Why does it have to be processed through your liver? Because it's a toxin. Your body looks at alcohol as a toxin. So it
Like
has to go.
almost the whole thing. There's nothing nutritious about it.
Right. So it has it because it's not natural to yourself.
Mhm.
So your body has to process it out. So when you eat, okay, all of those calories that you eat while you're drinking, your body can't process. So then what does it do? Well, sometimes it stores it. And that's where you get body fat. Just
That's
more
sad.
the more you know. The
That's why I
more you-
want to talk about it because also I want it to be like sobering to me, literally, and be like, damn, I need to be more conscious about what I eat today and what I drink with it. Dude,
you will eat 20% more calories while drinking than while not drinking.
and the beers that I drink are like the worst ones, dude. The worst ones. They're like sours, IPAs, stouts, not like light lagers or like ales. It's like the heavy stuff. Give me the
Dude,
flavor.
you are like an expert at beer.
Hmm.
Like you're a
I don't know. I wouldn't
you're a
say
beer
I would
you're a
say I would
beerologist.
definitely not say I'm an expert.
You sound like an expert to me because I don't even know what you're talking about. I know Bud Light, and that's about it.
I know a lot of about beer, but I would not say that I'm a beer expert by any means. I would say I'm very novice.
You know what? You need your own beer.
Dude, I tried to get I was well, I didn't actually even say it, but I was hoping that Stone for that event would be like, dude, can we do a sour for you? And I was gonna be like, yes, but it must be called the Colonel Shuckles sour.
I don't know what we need to do. Okay, we got you to be a Kentucky Colonel. Okay,
Yeah.
well, you got yourself to be a Kentucky Colonel, but
Well,
that,
I mean, you
I,
helped a lot.
I digress. But we need to get we need to make a petition from some brewery in Lexington or somewhere to make a beer named after Austin. The Colonel Shuckles. It needs to happen. So
Colonel Shuckles sour.
if you're a brewery and you're watching this, which I highly doubt you are, but if you are, he needs his own beer. Make that shit happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been working a lot with Mirror Twin. Maybe they'll make it happen.
I don't know what we need to do to make it happen. We need to make it
They just
happen.
they just got named the #1 brewery in the Bluegrass. So, and they were they helped a lot with the philanthropy.
There you go.
So they're not only making good beer, they got good hearts.
Good hearts and good beer.
Yeah.
What better? What better thing in the world?
Just winning.
So where are you at with the dollar amount that you've raised?
So it looks like we're gonna be at 6,000. So we'll be able to. So the way we're trying to discuss exactly how we're going to distribute it, because there's one family that we actually talked to, and it is heartbreaking as crap, from Lee County, that literally lost everything, including their horses, their farm, their livestock. They lost literally every single thing that they owned. So like,
Wow.
it's yes. And it's like, well, I mean, if we get, I don't know. It's trying to be like, because $500 is cool, but it's like if we could give one family $1,000 or 6 families $1,000, that would really help a lot more, I think. Or just trying to find out a metric, though. I don't know.
No, I think that's a good idea. 5, because you have more impact.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. That one family gets a lot more help, because like or even if we just give like 2 families $3,000 a piece or something, I don't know. Just trying to find, because when I was talking to Tammy, what we were talking about is, as I get more into this, is we're gonna have to like have a way more legitimized like search process. And I was like, that's what I want to do. But like with this, what we've just been doing is reaching out to like resource centers at schools, and like the family that we did in Boyd County for the Christmas project was through the clinic I work at. And the families in Morgan County were 2 families that I was like, I reached out to one of the public officials and was like, hey, can you help me find a couple families to help? And it's just been like really cool to have that help. But I want to actually be, and what was really cool was she's like, you're gonna have to pick a board. And I was like,
Yeah,
a board.
you have to have a board. Like she when I formulated my nonprofit, she's like, okay, so you got to have 3 people, and one of them can be you, but you need 2 other people. And so I was doing it with a client of mine, and so she's like, well, you have to have one more person. So I literally walk out my office door and I look at Andy and I say, Andy, you're on the board. Okay.
Okay, you know what Andy is.
Right. He didn't give a shit.
Dude, but I think it's cool that I'm stepping up into stuff like that, and hearing she's like, you gotta declare a board. I'm like, yeah, that's dope. Like that sounds awesome to me.
So here's what I take of this, and I think this is where people could take a lot from you, is like you didn't like obsess about the details on how to start a nonprofit, or obsess about the details about how you're going to raise money for people. Like you just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing it. Right.
Yeah,
So like you don't have to
that's
have,
pretty much what I've done with everything.
but that's like what everyone does. I mean, fucking Elon Musk like is reading a comic book when he's like 9 years old, and he said, "You know what? We've got to get past Earth, and then we got to inhabit other planets."
Or we're
Right?
gonna like go extinct.
Right. So, I mean, that's what he thinks, and so I'm not going to try to tell him what he thinks. So he's like, "Hey, let's just make this happen." So he's literally lived his entire life on making these things happen, just running as he goes.
Dude, I'll tell you a really interesting and funny story about this, of just like having the guts to do something. So when I was working at TQL on the way home from work all the time, I would listen to this show called Matthew and Mikey on ESPN 1300. So it's an AM channel, but it's a local ESPN like station. And they would always have like pregame football stuff, and they would always have pregame basketball stuff for like UK. And then also they had that local talk show. And so I would call in and stuff and talk on the way home from TQL. And one day they were like, we're at Waller Avenue at Jimmy John's. If you want to come in and visit us, like come by. And so I went in there and was like, hey, I want to work for you all. And the dude was like, that's really weird, because literally the hiring executive for the radio stations here running the show today, go talk to him. Really walked over there, talked to him, and was like, hey, I want to help do this, blah, blah, blah. And the dude was like, all right, you can start like next week. and so I was working for like a local ESPN station. But the thing is I honestly was it was in a point where I didn't have the work ethic or beliefs that I have now. So I didn't really take advantage of that moment the way that I really would have now. If I would have had that opportunity now, like it would have been crazy. But also at the same time, I think it humbled me because I realized there were a lot of little things that I needed to work on in order to take that opportunity on the next time something like that pops up. So it was cool that I got to do that, but also it also taught me a lot of lessons. And because I ended up just quitting, I just was like, I don't have enough time to do this. And now I would be like, dude, I don't care what I got to do. Like I would make the time to go work for freaking ESPN and have like a radio show in Lexington.
Yeah.
I
mean, why not?
Dude, but I was like, I got to work a job and do this. And now I'd be like, F that job, I'm quitting that job.
Okay. This is a fantastic subject matter. So like in all this gibberish that I've written down here, right? It's like, who in the fuck decided that our expectations that we have to have a 9 to 5 job, that we have to be married by a certain age, that we have to go to college? Who in the hell wrote all these things down that says, hey, you have to do all this shit?
I have no idea.
I don't know who they are, but they need to be like, you know, I don't know, tarred and feathered and ran through the streets
That
of
is horrible.
because it's like, whose expectations are we living by here? And I think honestly, a lot of people, and I think myself included, and maybe you'll agree, to a certain degree, we all live by these certain expectations. But
Yeah.
like these expectations are bullshit. I have never worked a 9 to 5 job ever. I mean,
Would you say you're a pretty happy guy with your
yeah,
career choices? I
yeah.
would say so too.
It's like, I mean, I've had varying degrees of happiness throughout my life, but it's like, I feel like what I do
But
is very
but you
gratifying.
get exactly. You get fulfillment and gratification from it.
And that's another topic. It's like, okay, everybody wants to run and be rich. And it's all about the money. Like, don't you like money and this and that? And it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, money's great. But if you're going to ask me to, okay, Josh, I'm going to pay you $2 million a year to do something you're going to be literally miserable doing. No, it isn't about money. You know what it's about? I'll tell you what it's about. It's about doing life the way you want to do it,
Mhm.
not anyone's else expectations. I mean, you were working at TQL, which I'm sure you absolutely hated. Okay. Because
I would honestly, if I worked there now too, I would work my ass off too. Like I worked. The thing is, I've learned to work really hard. So in any place that I would go work, I would make the best of it. But like, it was really important that I really hated those places so much, those jobs that I did, and was like, I need to not stop. I need to stop doing this shit.
right, to do something that you want to do. And also, here's another
My friends
topic.
literally told me. My friends made fun of me when I told them in college that I want to start a nonprofit because they're like, "Why would you want to start a nonprofit?" Like, it's like because I want to help people. Like
You get one.
seriously, I
You
had
get one
awesome
go around.
friends, like great friends, would be like, "Why would you want to do that?" And I was like, because that's fucking badass to help people. I don't know. It's just like I don't know.
You get one go around, in this world, right? So if you can help somebody else become a better person, why would you not?
Yeah,
And then it's,
it helps me be a better person by doing that. That's why I like doing that shit.
but it also, what also it does for you? Okay. This is the selfish part. It's not selfish, but most people would see this as being selfish. It also allows you to be able to do other things in your life that make you money.
Dude, I will 100%. The people that don't try to say that, the people that try to like tiptoe around that are the people that are sketchy, I think. Like my whole thing with what I do is I want to make money off, I want to monetize the things that I love to do. That's like the name of the game. But if I
Freedom.
can find a way to use my passion to help people out by me liking craft beer and me liking podcasts and me liking history and me loving Kentucky, like, dude, that's the name of the game. Like, in the last essentially so in the last 4 months, we with the help of podcast and music and beer and fitness, essentially, because you've helped a lot with the projects. Like it's been like we've been able to raise $13,000 for people that wouldn't have got any help. And it's just like, obviously, if I'm making an impact like that with the help of people that are awesome, badass people in the communities, like I'm going to get some attention too. That's going to help my podcast. That's going to help me get better guests. That's going to help me get, not that my guests that I've had so far are incredible. You're literally one of the top trainers in America. You're literally one of the top philanthropists in Kentucky. Amanda Nybert was just on freaking TED Talk. Like Mike Gardner is one of the best life coaches in Kentucky and in America. Like, I mean, but I'm going to get opportunities to get into new fields like music and to like get into just anything essentially. And to think that that's obviously not going to help me make more, it's going to help me make more money. But
Yeah.
the thing is I'm like, you can be like Marcus Aurelius, who was the like king, but he was the like noble king. He like was the guy that was like, I'm going to live among the people, even though I'm the king. Like I'm going to like live as the people do, because that's how it's intended to be. Like I might be the richest guy, but I'll use that to make an impact in other people's lives. Like I might be able to drink some damn good wine sometimes and sleep in a good bed, but sometimes he's like, I'm gonna sleep on the floor. And it's like sometimes you just that's the thing is like I think that people see the transparency and being like, I want to help others that are less fortunate because I've been in that position, or I know that one day down the road I could be in that position.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like, it's kind of easy.
It's fun.
Imagine if everyone took that initiative though. Like everyone can make money off their passions and help their communities. Like that's what I'm trying to encourage. That's the whole thing is like monetize your passions. Like is to get people to make money off not working at TQL. Not that anything like I said is wrong with TQL.
No.
But like if you are an artist and you're like working at TQL and you're like, man, I really should be making my art instead of this, or I should really be training. I have this abundant knowledge of fitness and nutrition that I should be spreading among the world, or I have this like trading skill that whatever it is, it's like that's what I want to encourage. It's like, but if you think you want to be a business person and you want to sell and be a salesman, then by all means go work somewhere like that. But it's like my ultimate goal is just to encourage people to be the best in wherever they are. And I think that you try to do that too. That's why I think we make a great team.
We do. We do. We're like tag team champs.
We're like good cop, bad cop.
I can be the bad cop sometimes.
I know.
It's interesting because I had this conversation with a client of mine who doesn't really enjoy what she does. And I was like, well, okay, you have this like want to volunteer your time at a charity, right? Like you have this and you're not really happy with your job. If you can't do anything about your job in the current moment, right? You can't just leave your job for whatever reason. Why don't you start volunteering your time? So therefore your job doesn't seem as bad, Get yourself out there and start doing something with your life that makes it more valuable. Because when you don't have value in your own life, of course life is going to be shitty. But if you're doing something that you want to do, that's why working out is like so great. It's like if you can fall in love with this process, you can look forward to actually doing it and the benefits that it reaps. Your life instantaneously becomes better. I mean, and through that, and this is where a lot of these notes come from. It's like, I'm so sick and fucking tired of people talking about, well, I just attract narcissists, in relationships, right? I'm a narcissist attractor. Okay, well, first of all, you can't spell narcissist. Second of all, you don't really know what a true narcissist is. It's just a word we're just like, and this is I'm going on a tangent now.
No,
Uh,
dude, it's been watered down just like the word Nazi or the word fascist. It's like
right, a communist.
there's not this many narcissists and
Right.
like
A true narcissist as it relates to like the DSM psychological disorders, how it's defined. But you have to take responsibility in yourself because what is it about you? What is it about you that keeps attracting this? It's like these people that are always telling you, oh, well, I have the worst luck. Okay, that very well may be true. You can't help if someone rear ends your car, right? You can't help if you get, you know, uh, uh, I don't know, fill in the blank. But what is it about you that attracts these individuals? What responsibility do you have in this? Well, I just attract bad men or I attract bad women or whatever the case may be. Well, what damn responsibility do you have in your life that you continuously are attracting these people? Because life is a mirror. So how I value myself is what I'm going to attract. So if I value myself at this level, I'm going to attract someone that values me at this level.
And also, the funny thing is that so many people think that nothing bad's going to happen in life, and it's like comedy is literally the tragedy of life, essentially.
Mhm.
Like, so, I mean, you think that there's this thing called comedy that's literally like laughing at how shitty life is, and you don't think that life's going to get bad sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
but it's literally all it's learning to craft perspective and frame things, and if you constantly are finding yourself in that position, like, I mean, maybe you are that same type of person, exactly like you said. It's like odds are, you might be expressing it in a different way, but you are somehow fulfilled by that sort of energy. That's just
Mhm.
how physics work, like
What
straight
you
up
what
baseline
you pro-
physics.
what you project out is what you get back.
Same way with the human brain, like literally, like what you put into it is what you get. Like that. Yeah.
Neuroplasticity.
Yes. Yep.
I saw your post the other day.
Yeah, man.
You
It's
you you
like
you you're you're an intellectual beer drinker.
I don't know
I
about
mean,
that
he
either,
he
but
just isn't he's just isn't the guy at the bar drinking, talking about chasing women. I mean, he's over there talking about neuroplasticity and reticular activation, and he's a smart guy. Look at that brain support. He wants to make sure. For a second, I thought that said amazing ass.
it says amazing grass though. I've had better grass, but this is pretty good.
Oh my god.
This
Yeah, I
has
mean,
matcha boca pa boca pa.
did you say Macho Man Randy Savage?
Pretty much matcha though, and then boca pa. I don't know what boca pa,
I don't
cacao pa,
know.
and then lion's mane. It's got like a bunch of like mushrooms and stuff in it.
Oh, you're eating shrooms.
Pretty much wheatgrass, matcha, lion's mane, and this extract from boca pa.
Well, it's interesting. Mike was fixing coffee the other day, and my client was like, "Hey, what do you put in your coffee?" And he said something like moss or something. And my client was like, "You're drinking moss?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's good for your this, that, and the other, whatever it was good for." I'm like, "Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta." He's like, why would you put moss in your coffee?" He wants whatever that moss has. He wants it in his body. I don't know.
I
To each his
mean, lion's mane apparently there were so they did this study in Japan, and they use like all these fungal communities to make their transit system more efficient, and they used literally a fungi to do it, and it just like laid down the most like efficient way that their train system should run, and that's the way that they ended up setting it up, and it's like made it like a bajillion times more efficient. And there's this guy named Paul Stamus. He's a mycelius or mycologist, and he studies mycelium. And so his like life goal is to show the importance of fungus and fungi and how intelligent they are and how we coexist, and how essentially like for brain health it's one of the main things we should be consuming pretty consistently, is some sort of like there's a lot of like really brain dense nutrients like funguses that we should be consuming a lot. And he actually believes he has this theory that has pretty astronomical studies showing that it could potentially be true, is that the main reason why bees get that disease where they're one of the main reasons why the bee population is dying off is because this disease that causes one of their wings to like deteriorate or rot. And so by him introducing this certain sort of mycelium into their colony, it regenerates that wing to grow back. And so he's trying to promote that into humans and to how with like Alzheimer's, dementia, all these like brain injuries that people have and all these things like that. And he really believes that that's going to be like what is going to really help as opposed to like pharmaceuticals. So obviously you can tell that there's probably going to be some pushback to this guy. Of
course. Hey, he's going to end up dead.
Probably.
Poor guy.
But he's the guy that's in charge of it's a supplement company called like Brain Host or something, Nature's Host or something like that. But it's a really good one that I like to use.
I believe that the earth has all the answers to all our problems.
I pretty much just eat well and eat stuff like this or drink stuff like this and take magnesium and calcium and stuff like that. Like nothing too crazy. Electrolytes. Eat some greens. Eat some meat.
Drink some water. Yeah. Oh.
Oh yeah, we definitely have to talk about that.
Listen. I'm not prepared to have the argument versus eating meat as it relates to global pollution.
Mm-hmm. Did you look up the video by chance?
I watched that video. His weekday veg, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was a fantastic public speaker. Like he kept me interested because he had the dramatic pauses and his stage presence was great. But again, if we want to lower the carbon footprint, we can't be looking at us in the United States of America because we're not the ones that are totally responsible for that. You got to look across the sea over there to the east. There's a little country that starts with a C and ends with an A.
Well, Russia too.
Yeah, that that is causing a lot of global pollution. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, caring about your carbon footprint because I think the earth is important. But as it relates to the choice that you make from eating,
honestly, I think the answer is regenerative agriculture.
Okay. I'm interested.
It's just so essentially though the belief is if we switch to regenerative agriculture, which is just to allow to subsidize local farmers to make more money off of farming as opposed to the big agriculture,
Monsanto
is essentially that they believe that, and it would maintain conservation because this is crazy, might scare the shit out of some people. It is believed that we only have like 50 to 60 more crops left of soil nutrients in a lot of the areas of the United States before like a great like bad thing will happen with because we're over farming. And right. So people believe that they're like, well, being vegetarian will put less of a footprint. It's like, well, actually, like that's not necessarily true. And then also a really, really bad thing that you would run into is just having the crops that are the same over and over and over and over, that it destroys an ecosystem. People don't realize that. But like if you just have miles and miles and miles of corn, all the things that were thriving off all the different agriculture that was happening in the area is going to immediately not be able to be there anymore. Mm-hmm. So when you switch to that, if you were just to say, hey, we're only going to do vegetarian, it's illegal to do meat. It's like, well, that's just as bad to the footprint that you create as having cows or to have, there's no matter what, we're essentially going to have an issue. But the way that you do regenerative agriculture is it puts the farming in the hands of the locals And obviously they're like, well, we need to be more conscious of the nutrients and to do the things that we're doing, the pesticides that we're putting in, all these things that are literally destroying the nutrients in the actual ground and giving it a chance to be like resalted and doing all that stuff, as opposed to just like grinding it up, all right, growing it, grinding it up, growing it. And just, I don't know. It's interesting to think that some people think that we're consumers no matter what. Like that's what we are. We're kind of a cancer to the earth in a way. But to think that only eating vegetables would be the
In a
best
lot of
option.
ways. Or
Yeah.
cancer to the earth in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not subscribing to. I'm going to continue to eat meat. So
Yeah.
if you don't like me because of that, that's your choice. But I had a cheeseburger last night. Actually,
I did too, actually.
I got to the hotel. I came from the airport and I'm staying by the airport and I'm thinking, you know what? I've stayed at this hotel before. I'm like, I remember there being more food choices. Jack in the Box is not a great food choice. Okay.
Oh, that's where you got your burger from?
No, I got it.
Okay.
I came to the hotel and ate.
Ugh.
Thankfully they were still serving food. So
What kind of hotel you staying at?
it's a Hilton.
So it had pretty good food, probably.
It's a double tree, so they give you cookies when you arrive.
Oh,
And I had
cookies.
one.
They even like cookies?
I mean, they're okay.
What if they were potato chips though?
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not really having much cravings for any of that stuff right now.
That's good. So does it mean you're not very stressed out right now?
No, I'm not really sure. I don't feel stressed.
A lot of times cravings like that, I feel like, are kicked up by some sort of stress in your brain.
You know what? You know what?
Give me something.
This topic we're gonna cover next time. So I'm gonna shut it down right now because that is the topic that we're gonna lead into next time is your emotional triggers to cravings. I think everyone needs to hear that. So
even in success, like today, my brain's like, "You're doing good, bro. You should go drink craft beer and eat some pizza." Yeah,
pizza sounds phenomenal. I think I'll have that with the kids. All right. Well, I want everybody in the comments section to wish this guy a happy birthday. If you've made it this far in the video, he's 29 as of tomorrow, right?
Yep, 29 tomorrow.
As of tomorrow. So we're going to wish him a happy birthday and his last year of his 20s. And then he becomes a man when he turns 30. So
Nobel Peace Prize by 35.
There you go. You heard it. He said it right here on the internet. So it's here forever. So, all right, my friends, hashtag value in the comment section. Wish this guy a happy birthday. This is the Buff and Shuck show where we talk about nothing and everything at the same time. Because we are
Info
Tainers.
Woo!
Woo! Everybody have a great day.